All right, Joe, we're back for another one post US Open. We are down to one major left. The
Was
FedEx
too
Cup, if
quick.
it counts for those who practice, those who believe, that's kind of a major of sorts. Although it sounds like the PGA has some big changes for that in store, which we will get into. But Joe, we got to start with the story. Bookend, end-to-end win. Now two-time major, two-time U.S. Open champion Wyndham Clark, and it
Pretty
almost
wild.
was
Pretty wild to
Burnsy. And
say.
I was on my little golf trip, and I was driving back on Saturday with this guy Rob, and we were talking about how, we really wanted to watch golf. We played golf. We didn't get a chance to watch a ton of the U.S. Open, so we wanted to watch it on Sunday, which is why we left early on Saturday, because we're fucking hooligans like that. Plus, Tesla's got FSD, so we drove back, and I was watching it, and we're thinking, there's every single time that you think Wyndham's going to come back to the pack, he doesn't. In fact, he threw another birdie on it, made it harder. And it's like, is there even anything to watch on Sunday? And then there was. And
No,
I can't wait to get
there
into
always
my
is.
Sunday, but tell me what
There
you were
always
seeing.
is. There always is. I mean, let's go back to
6
the
strokes
Masters.
though, Joe. This
Yeah,
wasn't like
dude,
normal where it's
let's
like,
okay,
maybe. This was a big deal.
let's go back to fucking Rory Friday at the Masters when everyone was going into that weekend thinking that the tournament was over. I thought that there was still going to be a level of excitement. I did enjoy that stat that they kept showing of like every guy that has had a 6-shot or greater lead going into a major Sunday. Everyone has converted a win except Greg
Except
Norman
for
in
Greg Norman.
'96. So Greg Norman had to love seeing that pop up like all
Oh,
Sunday
no,
morning.
no. I believe that was very on purpose. I do not believe for 1 second that the PGA and all those who are involved in the media
Of
were not
course it
like,
was on
fuck
purpose.
this guy, biggest loser right here.
Yeah, I mean, I know I think they love being able to show that stat, right? And just
Good stat.
continue to throw salt on the wounds. I mean, listen, I was hoping that it would that it'd be a tight Sunday. It was. I mean, going back to Saturday, I mean, dude, Wyndham was just relentless. The amount of putts that he was pouring in when he just seemed like he was in all sorts of trouble. His flat stick bailed him out pretty much all weekend outside of like he would have some like he would make 15 to 20-foot putts and then he would miss like a 4-footer or a 5-footer out of nowhere. But that's what you're getting on US Open greens when it's super bumpy and fast and there's no straight putts. So even a 3-footer is terrifying. But I thought that was kind of interesting on Wyndham is that I almost felt better when he had a 4-footer than a 20-footer. Like I thought he'd make the 20-footers and miss the 4, and that's what he did.
Joe, one of the
Uh,
craziest stats I saw about the putting, this was, so they stacked up all of his made putts, and it said that the chances of him making, based on PGA Tour average and his career and all things considered, was like 4.6% chance of making the putts that he made. In the same period of time of his putts, he made 50%, over 50% actually, of the putts that he had a 4% chance of making. So like,
yeah,
it was
that range. It was like the range from like 20 to 25 feet. Like I saw that stat, like what the tour average was, and then yeah, he was just putting it at 50%, which was absolutely ridiculous. I think there's a whole like if you're looking back on Wyndham winning his second U.S. Open, I think you could point to a couple of different things, right? A lot was made of him getting the weather break, right? Him going off later on Thursday,
gave him the
Thursday
lead.
Thursday conditions being set up a little bit easier because the wind was so rough in the morning that you know the USGA couldn't really trick out the course because they were worried about the wind and they didn't want to quote unquote lose the course like Zach Johnson accused them of doing back in 2018. So Wyndham gets the break with going out in the PM when the conditions had lessened, and then they get the delay, so he gets to finish up his first round on Friday. And like I think the benefit of that, right, is that you just roll right into the momentum and you go right into round two, right? So he benefited from that. But listen, half the field benefited from that.
I was
So
gonna say, as much as I don't like the guy, you can't just
I don't
say
think
that.
that's a big thing. I think really what won him the US Open was the putting, which we talked about, and his play on hole 16 on Saturday and Sunday. The shot that he hit on Saturday,
Shot of the tournament.
275 yard fucking, like, he slung the
Pull
shit
cut.
out of that. I mean,
He hit
that
it
was
full fade.
insane, the curve that had and how high he got that for hitting a 3-wood. Because I think I had read or listened to that he had taken out his 5-wood out of the bag, so that's why he had to cut that shot to
He
take
had to
off
take
like
some off.
15. He had to take 15 or 20 yards off of the 3-wood. But like, dude, that green was a tabletop and it is surrounded by bunkers. For him to land that on the front right edge of the green and just roll it to 4 feet to make eagle was unbelievable. Um, you wouldn't have known that it was unbelievable based on the crowd's reaction or lack of crowd's reaction there. Like, no one was at Shinnecock those last couple of holes. And, I heard it was because of the trains, and like the last train left at 6 o'clock and the leaders didn't tee off till 3:45, whatever it is. Like, you've got the US Open there, and it was like perfect conditions. It was like the golden hour at Shinnecock, and you've got no one there watching the shot of the tournament from the eventual champion. Was pretty rough. And it was that, and then him coming up on 18 and no one in the grandstands on 18 on Saturday. It was just like, was this moving day at the US Open, or was this like Thursday at the John Deere Classic? Like, what are we
Well,
watching right now?
I mean, if there's anything I am qualified to speak about and know a good deal about, it is VC and PE partners escaping when the rescue boats to exit are going away. Nobody has weaker fingers and gets the fuck out of Dodge faster than a private equity guy who sees time running out. So, not a big surprise there. Not the greatest fans, just saying. I will say you saw it again on Sunday come out. That was his safety shot. We learned that, which tells me that this dude's like much better than I want to give him credit for. That shot he had on 16, he did it again with his driver on 16 or on 17, whatever it was, on Sunday, to try to make sure he didn't block the ball off like he did the hole before, where he got himself in, the par 5. The crazy shot that people want to accuse him of cheating
16, he got himself in big trouble.
gets in trouble.
Well,
the next tee shot, he hits the same whip around to cut himself off. So like, this has
yeah.
been his sort of safety valve shot. It doesn't matter what club he uses, this
But
sort of pull slice.
But to go back to his play on hole 16, so you have the eagle on Saturday, and then talking
Gets
about
a
his
birdie on Sunday, even though he was in the shit.
Yeah, dude. He hit it off the planet on Sunday. Like, I watching that live, I'm like, oh my god, like, our boy Burnsy that you and I have been talking about and saying
We're going
that
to talk
he's
a little more
ready,
about that.
saying that he's ready, saying that like it's only a matter of time, which I believe even more so now. Like, I'm sure he was watching that shot and being like, hey, at the very worst, I'm in a playoff with Wyndham, but like, he was probably
Playoff?
thinking, I'm gonna win the US Open, right? Like, and then Wyndham, that's a complaint about Shinnecock that I will say, is that we kept hearing about the fescue in the rough, and like, you had Bones talk about the lie that
Almost
Wyndham had
unplayable
there.
lie.
Yeah.
Everybody hit out of
So
it. Everybody hit out of it.
he's like teasing us, and I'm like, I can't wait for the shot, because I'm like, this fescue is going to completely turn Wyndham's club, and he's going to hit it 80 yards, and he's going to be in fucking no man's land, laying two on this monster par 5, like 600-yard plus par 5. He hits it 180 yards into the fairway. I'm like, what? How was that the worst lie you've ever seen? Like, I don't know. Phones did that a couple times.
There's a couple of things here. I'm gonna call bullshit on that. They want to play it up like, oh man, for a regular Joe, it probably is an impossible lie. No offense to the Joes out there. It probably is an impossible lie.
Like your co-host, you're just throwing
Yeah. I mean, it would kill me too.
Joe.
I'm a regular golfer too. What you're not used to seeing is like 15 and 20 years ago, the only guys who were taking cuts at it as hard as that is Tiger Woods. Now every player does. Everyone's got 170-mile ball speed coming off the face. They didn't have that before. So you look at all this fescue, it's just not that much. The other thing, Twitter got a bunch of play on this, trying to accuse him of cheating. What was he doing? Moving the ball, moving the grass next to his ball. When he took this like weird little swing, kind of goes over top of it. I do that all the time. Like, it showed me two things. One, he was just trying to see how the grass kind of moved in different directions. And two, to me, when I saw him take that cut out of there, I was like, oh, this fescue's not that thick.
We
whipped right through it.
Can we be done with these couch fucking warriors that are like sending clips into the USGA or the PGA or whoever the tournament is and like demanding penalties? Like, get a life.
Snitches
like,
are bitches. That's what I say.
That is insane. It's like,
get a fucking life.
How many burners does Dan Rappaport have where he's just sending these clips in?
Dude, I agree with you. It's stupid. It makes for good Twitter stuff. I like to go on there and just like completely eviscerate people and then have them all write hate shit to me. It's fun. But my point there is like, he didn't cheat. He took a couple of swings near where he was at. Was he probably trying to clear a little bit of grass here and there, make some footing? Sure, as much as which the rules will allow. He clearly steps away from his ball. He clearly steps back. He clearly leans over it. And then he takes like a half swing through it. And you can tell he's just trying to see where the grass is going. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this fescue is not nearly as bad as you're saying. I can't see his ball, but I can see how quickly his club went whipping through. And I didn't turn. I was like, oh. He even said,
but my thing is,
if you can, he said I can drive through this ball.
If you can pick up on that, right? And like, you're not the average golf watcher. You and I aren't, right? Because we watch so much of it. But like, if we can pick up on that, why is Bones telling us that is the worst?
Because he wants everyone to believe. Like, it's the same reason when you watch the putts and you see these giant fucking greens, and then you and I will go play the course, and the greens are like 20 feet by 50 feet, and you're like, oh, the screen looks ginormous. The putt looked like it was 80 feet. And you get there like, yeah, it's probably like a 22-foot putt. The camera and the people, and it's all of it is theater. This is all theater.
Yeah, but it's
all
like,
day, Saturday and Sunday morning, all you heard about was there's still a tournament. And there ended up being one, but it was luck.
There was definitely a tournament.
There was, but everyone was talking about like, oh, whatever. Like they were teeing it up to get you to watch it. There's 17 different scenarios in which he wins comfortably by 4 strokes the entire round. It never gets that tight.
What I would say, I got a couple things for you here, because I want to ask your opinion on Wyndham, and I want to give ourselves credit. We've been on Wyndham for a while now, right? I think he has taken up a good portion of the last 4 or 5 of our shows, right? You went
take credit for the whole card, Joe. Everyone except for your boy Hovland. We called the Kitayama take. We called the Bryson miss. We called Burnsy as a big one. I had Fleetwood. I had Matt Fitzpatrick. Who else did we have there? I had Russell Henley.
Fitzy was leaking oil. And I had Tom Kim, although I discovered him Wednesday before the US Open, and we'll get into him. But a couple things on Wyndham, right? I thought it was going to be a tournament because if you watched how he played on Saturday, he was not playing great. Like he was scrambling his ass off, but like he was leaking oil. So I don't think that was manufactured theater. Like I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a tournament on Sunday, because usually that's just what happens on Sunday at a major. And like Wyndham wasn't Scotty the last 2 years where it was just like on autopilot and he wasn't going to give you any bogeys. Like Wyndham was clearly going to give up some bogeys, and he did. And he actually made some 15 or 20-foot pars on Sunday, or else that round would have been even worse. My question for you, though, we haven't seen a guy get booed like that, like a U.S. guy get booed at a U.S. Open in the lead like that, maybe ever. And I personally loved it. But is your opinion that he was getting booed because the New Yorkers just wanted to see a closer tournament and he was 6 shots up? Or is it because that Wyndham is an unlikable guy like we've been talking about? Or is it a combination of both?
He's a prick. Good for him. I like him. He won me over. I could talk to you a little bit about how I played Sunday, including in this story, but he won me over to the point where, kind of the same way that Patrick Reed won me over. It's like I still would not want to spend 1 minute with the fucking guy, but I kind of like the moxie. I like the way you kind of look at people and you're like, the hell with them.
I like that he took it on Sunday, right? Like he didn't we probably don't have time today. We gotta talk Rory at some point. That guy is just like he sucks now. Like he can't handle any sort of shit talk. And like, listen, I know it was too extreme at Bethpage, but
Does the
like, I don't
fat
know.
guy thing? That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was funny, but like, but it's like every round with him now, it's just like he can't see. He seems to have thin skin and he
There's always
hears it.
something.
Whereas like Wyndham on Sunday, dude, he's a freaking American winning the US Open. He's not a no-name guy. He's played a Ryder Cup. He's won a US Open back in 2023. And like instead of being like a victim and like woe is me, he just let the fans kind of like boo him and talk shit and he kept doing the process. Hey, the process is good. Process is
That
good.
you
I don't
answered
need
your own question.
I don't need to hear that again. But I
Yeah,
am
but
a
see, you
fan
just
of
answered your own
Wyndham after
question.
that.
You answered your question. One, this all comes from the fact that Oakmont wrecked the locker room, never said I'm sorry. He still hasn't really said I'm sorry. He just makes like a line, I'm a better man, whatever.
Oh, he has
No, hold on.
said sorry now. At
Yeah,
this
it's
point,
like kind
he
of a
has.
shitty sorry. It's not the greatest, but like either way, that's the start of it. He also has sort of just a demeanor about him that's annoying. He's got a complete smoke show girlfriend that always makes people jealous. The media is.
Hey,
I think
by the way,
yeah.
do you know that's not the same girlfriend from 2023? But I
No,
thought it was.
no,
I'm
he
like,
just found another one.
just a
Yeah.
different blonde on Wyndham's.
He meets
Wyndham's
another
arm.
hot blonde and says, "Let's go have some grape." That
Let's go.
drives
Yeah,
people
lots
fucking
of grape.
nuts.
Lots of grape.
So his part of it is just him. He's one of those dudes who he like is borrowing from everyone. He's got the Sergio part that pisses you off. He's got the Patrick Reed part that kind of pisses you off. He's got the Bryson part that pisses you off. There's a personality about him that kind of reminds me of Bubba Watson that pisses you off. And then the media cannot. His dad's got a goatee. That doesn't help. He's got the media.
Well, I think
has
Scott
him bring
too,
out
isn't
the
it?
shrink lady constantly, and you have to hear about this fucking lady that he
That's
talks. It's
awful.
just like,
Well,
okay.
how much? A couple things on there. One, I also think it's his name. Wyndham Clark is like
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
most
help.
pretentious. Like
Anyone with a Y in it is a bad name.
like
Bryson,
if he just
Wyndham,
if he just had a normal first name,
Jim
I
Clark.
don't think that he gets that. Yeah, correct, right? I don't think he gets that level of hate. His sponsorship with T-Mobile bothers me. I don't know why. Maybe it was the pink hat on Sunday.
We're recording
but
right
like,
now on T-Mobile home internet. Thank you, T-Mobile. 5G
I mean, it's
never
just
never fails.
I don't have any issue with T-Mobile.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
weird.
a weird sponsorship for him. Coupled with the fact that last year when he was having the driver issues, he destroyed that T-Mobile sign on the T box. Do you remember that?
I
Like
do.
he legit destroyed his sponsors like T box.
But so that answers the kind of we're answering the reason that he's disliked. But I'll tell you what I liked. I watched him and I saw a couple of different looks on Sunday where I felt pretty confident that he was going to win kind of regardless. And I went so far in on that in the morning, to make it interesting, I had started placing a couple bets for who's going to take second. And that's not abnormal. I go on prediction market on Robinhood, like always, and I bought myself basically 700 contracts of Sam Burns. Now that was before tee time for both of them. So you can imagine how I was feeling roughly around 15. Things are good. I bought more.
Wait, so
you're
buying contracts on him to finish second?
No, to win.
Oh, to win. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
So I had him in to win, and then I bought $600 contracts on Wyndham as well. But I waited. So what happened here is I see, just like to make a match out of it, right? So like here we go. They start playing. Sam Burns is playing really, really well. Then I see Wyndham have a couple of little holes. He has the bogey. Him and Scotty's not really putting pressure on him. He's just kind of hanging around. Then he makes a birdie. Then he kind of comes back at the turn. And he's shaking his head. He's like, the caddy's like, do you got this? Process good, process. You got this? He's like, dude, I got it all. That's what he said. Dude, I got it all. That's what he said.
A lot of process talk.
Very next hole, Burns makes birdie. We're now one shot away. At that exact moment, I believe Burns was trading somewhere on 50 or 60% chance to win.
Yeah.
Up from my 16% chance to win when I bought him in the morning. Sold all of it. Took the money, the contracts, the future money, and bought $600 in contracts on Wyndham to win it. He was only up one stroke then. There was still plenty of holes to go. 16 haven't even happened yet. and I watched Burns, and rooting for Burns was like, shit, I sold too soon if he rolls in these putts. But I literally thought, there is no conceivable way in my mind that Wyndham doesn't win based on what I saw right there. Like, he's still going to scramble. He's still making these putts. It kind of doesn't matter where he does before he gets on the green. He's going to make the putt. And then this happens. Putt missed by Burns. Putt missed by Burns. I feel terrible for him. He should have made him. I made myself a decent little clip of money, but I just felt like Wyndham, it reminded me of the calling the foul on yourself, Cam Young, a few tournaments ago, when I just said, like, oh, dude, if you feel so comfortable to be like, fuck it, man, I got all of it. I was like, it's done. It's done.
It's a good win. I mean, I do feel for Burns. He hit one of the best shots that I saw on 17 all day, I think to 9 feet, and he just, I don't know. The pros, all the guys just didn't seem to have the speed down on the greens, and on that 9-footer on 17, Burns just left it short. I don't know how you leave that short, but he did. He played phenomenal. He'll be back. I love how you're playing the prediction market. You, like I was saying pre-show, you need to just start doubling up your bets and cut in your co-host on some of this, because I continue to be the bridesmaid and not the bride, because I had $6,000 worth of Tom Kim tickets. I bet him pre-tourney 175 to 1. I bet him again on Friday at 165 to 1. He just kept hanging around. He played well enough to win.
Hanging around.
His issue was sand saves. He was terrible out of the sand. Every time he got
he was
himself to the
terrible
bunker,
also just continuing to get in the sand. Like when he needed the shot at 17, he just could not.
Correct. And that was after like playing an unbelievable 16th hole, making a 10-footer for birdie. What I will say, he was like one of the only guys that could actually make putts on Sunday. Like he made a couple long putts and kept himself in contention. But yeah, one of those things where every time he'd birdie, he'd kind of follow it up with a lackluster bogey and couldn't keep the momentum. But still, good to see him back in the mix, solo third. You know, a guy that had it's kind of crazy. He's only 24 years old. He like burst onto the scene a couple of years ago. He won those couple tournaments. He was the face of the President's Cup for the international team. And like, he's really struggled the last year and a half, 2 years. So it was great to see him back in the mix. I wish he was playing this weekend at the Travelers, because he almost won that 2 years ago. I had a ticket on him then too, lost in a playoff to Scotty. Last I checked, he's first alternate, but if he does get in the field for our listeners, bet Tom Kim. He's hot. I think he's going to continue to play well throughout the rest of the season.
I like it. You said it to me earlier. We're going to do this pod. We're going to wrap up here with the Travelers picks, and then we're going to do another pod later this week. We'll record on the PGA News, because it's just too much to leave behind. Also, still trying to get some thoughts. There's a couple of things that were in that weren't totally clear. The guys at Fried Egg wrote a piece on it. They left it sort of open too. So we'll let it digest and simmer on Twitter. We'll come back to it. One of the picks that you picked out or showed me that I really liked was Theegala. He showed himself to be playing really well the U.S. Open. He's been slowly kind of making his way up. You shared it with us, with me at least. I like that as a Travelers pick. It's certainly great odds on DraftKings. And another one,
FanDuel,
I don't know if it wins
for our friends.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, FanDuel for you guys. The one that also I think is kind of not surprising. He played honestly decent this week, but Keegan Bradley and that course are like best friends. Like he's won twice there.
Twice out of the last couple of years. Twice out.
Right. And he plays there a lot. He does well. Hometown advantage in general. Yeah. He's a tough one to pick because it's Keegan, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's certainly good to me for a top 10 pick. Fleetwood doesn't know how to win tournaments, so I'm just going to leave that alone. He just doesn't.
He's like Ludwig. Ludwig and Tommy need to they just need to disappear for a while.
No, but the thing is they're collecting points. They're always on the leaderboard. Ludwig just kind of falls apart on Sunday or sometimes Saturday, but they just don't win. That's all. They're really good players. They're compelling. They flirt with the top. I'm not going to say it because I love him, and if you look at the Master performance this year, it's just epic. But Xander Schauffele is a lot like that too. He plays so freaking well that he's in the first page every tournament, if not every other tournament, every major. And by the end of it, you go into Sunday and it's like, he's 5 or 6 strokes back. He cannot win probably. And then at the end, midway through the round, he's off the first page. And by the end of the first round, or the end of Sunday, it's like he's back on the first page +1. He finished at what at 11th place or 12th in the Open yesterday. He could have been top 10. That was my top 10 pick. He finished 11th. Boohoo for me. So I like those guys on a scorecard. They're just not going to win. So like as far as the winner goes, I'm going to do what I've been doing this whole time, and that's pick Scotty Scheffler to win the tournament, even though there's other people in better odds elsewhere. Like he's
I mean,
fucking takes second place in every tournament. He's going to win one of them.
Yeah. I still don't think the odds are accounting for the fact listen, I love Scotty. We've talked about him ad nauseam
they're not
here.
good odds. They make it seem like he's on a heater to win.
He hasn't won since January or February, right? Yes, great top 5 bet to hammer it. But like I'm looking at his Travelers odds right now, he's 4.5 to 1.
Yeah.
It's like this is a signature event. You've got Xander in the field, you've got Ludwig, you got Tommy, you got Cam Young. What's going on with Cam Young, by the way?
You already filled out the chart. I'll tell you how it's going to finish right now. You'll have Fleetwood is going to finish around, they'll be 13th position. Xander's going to come in 9th. Ludwig's going to come in 23rd. Theegala's going to come in 7th.
No.
Keegan Bradley's going to come in 11.
I'm calling my shot here. Sahith is winning this golf term. 100 to 1. Do it. Don't even mess with the where without Scotty market. Let's just do a long shot and let's get positive vibes on this. Sahith Theegala led shots gained tee to green at Shinnecock last week. Only reason he didn't win, cold putter. Historically, he's been a very good putter here. I think he's gained shots gained putting 3 out of the last 4 times here at the Travelers. He almost won it a couple of years ago. He double bogeyed 18, and I think Xander won. So he's got course history, playing well. Let's ride with Sahith. 100 to 1. Let's go. Cash a big ticket.
I like it. That's the ticket. All right. This has been great. U.S. Open was awesome. We have one last major to go. That's going to be a big one for our show. Spend a little bit of time there. We are going to do another podcast either this week or early next week on the PGA move. I'm really excited about it. There's some stuff that I think makes no difference whatsoever. And there's some stuff that I think could make a really big difference. I know you have thoughts on it, so we won't waste them here, but I'm excited to talk to you about it.
Yep. You too, Scott.
All right. See you on the tube.
See ya. Sahith. Let's roll.
Sahith.